Hi, I'm Dr. Letitia Henry with the Prevention Specialist.
Okra is our next non-starchy vegetable that I want to talk about. And it has a few other names. Some people call it ladyfingers or gumbo in some parts of the world. But it's a flowering plant that's valued because of its edible green seed pods. And these pods are so unique in terms of their texture, which becomes really slimy when you cook them. But they, have a unique flavor as well. And I've seen, of course, the common one is green okra, but I've seen some red okra. But what's so unique about the red okra is when you cook it, it turns back to green. So you don't get to enjoy it a red color on your plate after you've cooked it. But it is a staple in many different people's cuisines around the world, especially in the southern part of the United States, in India, and in Africa. It's believed to have originally come from Ethiopia or West Africa. And it kind of has spread across the world ever since. But okras are rich in vitamin C, K, and folate, and it has a really good amount of fiber. No surprise, it also is rich in antioxidants, which are your fighters, and it is a good source of magnesium. So those of you who are watching your blood pressure and wanting to make sure you keep your pressure under control, okra is really good option for you because of its good source of magnesium. Now, the slime that okra is known for, this helps with your digestion and it also helps to maintain healthy cholesterol levels. So, as much as that slime might be offensive to some, keep in mind it's really, really good for your health. So, the other thing that you want to be aware of, remember I mentioned about the antioxidants. One of the key things that antioxidant does for you is helps with inflammation. Unfortunately, so many people, the different chronic diseases that you're suffering from, and inflammation is one of the biggest problems. And okra is one of those vegetables that will help to deal with that, as well as reduce your risk for cancer and heart disease. So really take a good look at this vegetable again if you are not using it regularly. Now, as part of our culture, we'll add okra to fungi, for example. We add it to our callaloo. So it is there, but now you might want to consider using it in other forms as well, so that you're just not limiting it to those special dishes, but you're using it on the side as a side dish regularly as well. Other nice thing I love about okra is it's so easy to grow. So if you ever want to try your hand at growing something and you don't want it to fail, I would recommend you trying okras. I tell you, it's one of the most easiest vegetables, I think, to grow. And once it goes, sometimes you can't even keep up with it because they'll grow so quickly. So whether you're going to enjoy it in your traditional dishes, or incorporating it on in a different way, like a okra and a tomato stew. You could saute some onions and garlic, slice up your okra, saute it a little bit until it's tender, and then you add the chopped tomatoes, add a little vegetable broth, seasoning to taste, maybe a little pinch of some hot pepper, some cayenne, and simmer it down until the okra is nice and tender. You can incorporate okra in other ways. When we, years ago, before the world became the world and we were traveling more than I'm traveling now, had an opportunity to go to China, and at the breakfast buffet, there is different dishes, and the tomato, eggplant, okra, all kinds of vegetables were incorporated as part of breakfast. And so I want you to think outside the box And don't just limit okra to maybe your main dishes, but incorporate it in such a way that it could also end up at breakfast. Now, of course, those of you who eat chop chop, then you're already there because having okra mixed in with your spinach main dishes, but incorporate it in such a way that it could also end up at breakfast. Now, of course, those of you who eat chop chop, then you're already there because having okra mixed in with your spinach for breakfast time is something that, as we say, it's a traditional Crucian breakfast. So those of you who haven't been doing okra, I want you to give it a go. And those of you who are, congrats, your body is loving you for it.
This is Dr. Letitia Henry with the Prevention Specialist reminding you, add some color to your plate.